Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the 2026 New Jersey International Film Festival Short Animation Film Panel. We have four wonderful filmmakers from around the United States that are going to be talking about their work for the next 25 minutes or so. And I wanted to just give you some information about our festival, which will be taking place. It's actually the 31st annual. It started in 1996. We received a challenge grant from a number of foundations, the Geraldine Dodge Foundation, Johnson and Johnson, to bring a festival to New Brunswick, New Jersey at Rutgers University, where we're based, because the summer is kind of a ghost town since it's pretty much a college town. And so they encouraged us to do normally during the academic year, we have a fall and spring New Jersey Film Festival, but I really wanted to do a New Jersey International Film Festival to see if we could, show an Iranian film at 12 noon on Monday. And I realized very quickly that I couldn't do that because we're not New York City or Philadelphia or any of the close cities nearby because we have a limited population. So it became kind of ghettoed into the weekend evenings. And that's what we'll be doing on Friday, Saturday, and Sundays between May 29th and June 7th. We'll be doing a series of in-person screenings. And yes, our festival is still a hybrid because COVID knocked every festival for a loop. And we were one of the first ones to stream using Eventive, and it's been a really great situation. But after we kind of went back to in-person screenings, we developed this amazing audience. I mean, there's one person that watches everything, and we just didn't want to eliminate those folks from participating in our festival. This person was in Oklahoma, of all places. So that's why we're a hybrid. So almost all of the films are available online for 24 hours on their show date. And then there are in-person screenings that take place either at 5 or 7 p.m. If you stick around at the end, I will share screen and show you how you can buy tickets and other info. Today we have Myra Sito Velasquez, and her amazing film Godzilla's Day Off is one of the films we'll be talking about. Miracle Under 34th Street by Owen Andrejco. We're going to be talking about his film too. Prison and Time by Evan Bode is going to be talked about, as well as 35 Days by Heidi Kumao. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So Heidi's from Ann Arbor. Evan, are you still in Syracuse, New York?
I'm in Colorado now.
Oh my
Back
God,
in my hometown.
Colorado. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's nice over there. Myra's in New York City. Is that correct?
No, I'm in Woodstock. We're West Hurley now.
Oh
I've
my
lived in
God,
Manhattan
cool.
for ages, but moved up to the
Wow.
Catskills.
Oh, very nice. It's beautiful up there. And Owen is in Jersey City. Is that right, Owen?
Yeah, I'm in Jersey City.
Very cool. All right. So everybody, round robin, why did you make your animation film? And tell us a little bit about it so our audience knows a little bit more about what you do. Evan, you go first. You're next to me.
All right. So my film is called Prison and Time, and it kind of emerged through collaboration with a writer whose name is Marvin Wade. And he was published in this literary magazine that's called Project Mend. And what they do is publish works by formerly incarcerated writers talking about their experiences in prison. And the magazine kind of came to me and was interested in, can we adapt maybe one of these essays to animation? So I kind of got in touch with the writer and talked with him about his story. And then the film is him telling his story, him narrating his story, and me kind of adding animated visuals as a kind of another element in conversation with that story. So that's how Prison and Time came about.
Very cool. Myra, tell us about your movie.
Godzilla. To tell you the truth, I usually know exactly when I hatched the idea. But in this instance, it could have been so simple, something so simple like I was just brushing my teeth or something. I just hit on the idea, and then it went from there. I'm actually from a live action, my experience. So this is my first time to work with animators, and yeah, so
Very
that's
cool.
basically.
And your film is about the legendary monster, correct?
Oh, he's here to make. Hey.
There he is.
Woo. We have something in common, Godzilla and I. We're both made in Japan. I was
Very
born
cool.
and raised in Tokyo.
Very cool. Konnichiwa.
Hi.
Heidi, tell us about your film.
Yeah, my film is 35 days, and it basically came about from my cat actually went missing during COVID, and I refused to believe that he was gone forever.
Mm.
He's a pretty smart cat, and so out, I put posters everywhere. I knocked on a million doors just to see where he might be, and people, it was we were on lockdown. And so people, you know how that time we were all like, oh, let's go out for an hour walk and get out
Yeah.
of the house. And so my posters were kind of everywhere with my phone number
Mm.
and a picture of my cat. And people left me voicemails saying he's an orange cat, so he's pretty distinctive. But people left me messages about their sightings of orange cats. And, I eventually did find him. But I had all the voicemails, and then when I was deleting them, or deleting how you have to empty your voicemail box,
Mm.
I was sort of just had this feeling like I should keep these and just see maybe there's something there. Like I thought, oh, maybe I'll make a radio piece or an audio piece of some kind. And then I didn't really open the folder up again for another 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
But anyway, the animation uses the voicemails edited track was first, and then I kind of animated the callers to kind of, I don't know, contrast or be absurd relative to what the caller is saying. So it's all stop motion and cutouts.
Very cool. As a cat lover, I loved your film just from that perspective. But we had a filmmaker named Dustin Grella, who I don't know if you guys know him. He's kind of legendary animator who uses chalkboard. And
Oh,
he
I
did a
love that.
series of animation films based off of voicemail messages. So I
Oh.
thought of him when I watched your movie. But yours is so much different and so distinctive. So anyway, we'll talk more
Thanks.
about it. Owen, tell us about your film.
So my film is called Miracle Under 34th Street. So it's about these two little rats basically have a really crappy Christmas, and so they sort of find a solution to that. Um, I always been really fascinated by the subway, and sort of it's such a cool little area. Um, so it just seems sort of natural and fun to do a film about the rats.
And you worked with Bill Plimpton, and I can see a lot of similarities between
Hmm.
your animation and his. And tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, so he inspires me a lot. I work for him as a producer, so I sort of help with his production and assisting tasks in the studio and things like that. Um, and I hadn't done a short since my senior thesis film when I was in school.
Hmm.
Um, I was always doing storyboards or not totally fleshing out ideas. But we were working on a music video, and he came in one weekend with just a stack and stack of drawings, ready to go in the scanner because he does everything by paper. And that really inspired me because I had done this storyboard for this short before. I never thought I would make it, but that sort of inspired me, and I thought, I really could just, why don't I just do it? I'm always afraid I don't have the time or anything like that. So it was really Bill who inspired me to just do it.
Bill came a few times to our festival, and we premiered the tune and some of his feature stuff, Hair High. I remember there's so many wonderful ones, and I always remember what he said to my students, which is, keep it 5 minutes and less. And I think that's really good advice for any novice. Don't submit a feature your first go around. In fact, most of those features would be great 5-minute films. So we see so many. Anyway,
Hmm.
tell us a little bit about the process, Evan. Tell us how you made the film. I mean, I think you also do a lot of drawing. Is yours mostly computer generated, or do you do it by hand?
Mine was totally by hand for this one. I layered the elements in digital software after I had created it by hand. But it started out with the process of paper and charcoal and watercolors and oil pastels and kind of just this whole mix of different art supplies for different shots. And I'm really interested in kind of the combination of these different techniques and a little bit of an improvisational sort of element to the way that I work, where it's semi-planned out, but a lot of it also happens through discovery as I'm animating. Like there's a moment when the paper that I'm animating on starts to tear toward the end of the film, and the birds kind of fly out, and that just happened because as I was drawing and erasing over and over again, it actually started to tear, and I realized that could be a beautiful part of the shot. So I try to stay open to unplanned kind of improvisational things that come from the physical like material that I'm working with. So that kind of tactile analog process was important to me, and then taking those shots and kind of layering them on top of each other in digitally as well. Yeah.
And that's really cool. And Myra, yours is also kind of cutouts, right? You use paper too for your piece.
Yes, and actually, when I put the point is, I actually thought it was going to be, I imagined it to be 2D. And then I put out my call for animator, and then Jamie Sunwoo came to me, and I know her work theatrically. So then I immediately got interested, and then she goes, "We do paper and puppetry." And I was like,
Wow.
how could, that's my Godzilla. You know, actually, that is my voice at Godzilla. But anyway, the point is, I was so puzzled by it. How can it be? So I just decided to take the plunge. Initially, though, since I am live action, I began to look at costumes, thinking I would cast an actor, and then I said, oh my God, the costumes are so cheesy. This is not going to work. It's going to be awful. And therefore, I switched to the animation component. And that's how the paper and puppetry occurred with Jamie and her partner, Shayna.
Very cool. And Heidi, yours is also yours is a mixed media piece, I would think.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I work with fabric like as a side thing. Well, not side thing, but I make artwork that's sewn and uses fabric cutouts, and I use a laser cutter to cut things out for that work and sew pictures and stuff, sort of like my version of drawing. And so yeah, I just was playing around with the fabric that I was actually cut out for other work and brought it to the light table, and just sort of really love the translucency and the way you can sort of see through one fabric to the other. And that, I'm sort of operating maybe similar to Evan. I'm very much like just playing till I find the right thing or it cracks me up or whatever. So it's cutouts. A lot of replacement animation where I would cut out, 12, 15 poses of the cat, or and various hands and things holding cell phones and things like that.
And what about the hair? I mean, that's
Oh,
that's really the wonderful part of it too.
Yeah, it's all my sewing stuff just kind of migrating over to my light table. I felt like I tried really hard at first to make things a little more realistic, and I realized that it didn't look good. I mean, sort of like what Myra's saying about like, oh, it's just cheesy, and the looser I got and the sloppier I got, actually, the more I liked it. So it just became, heads of hair made from wool roving. That's things I use in other work, and lots and lots of thread and trying different things.
And the order of the phone calls, did you put down the narration first and then animate to that?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, it was kind of just sort of introduce the idea, then sort of show the search and the kind of frustrations of that. And then I was going to in a way I wish I could make it a little shorter, but I knew that at the end he would be found, by somebody because I had that call. But then I sort of, as I was editing the sound, I was sort of like, maybe I should re-listen to the calls because maybe there's some that I've missed. In my original search, I was looking for very specific things. And so I went back and listened to them. And there was two more calls where I was just like, this is too good to leave out. And it's like the one where the lady forgets her phone number. And then the other one where this woman just goes on and on about these cats moving to Denver. And, it sort of was just the type of people that called me. They're very caring. And so that was the first time I ever had the sound first and then did the images second. I'm very much an image person, so I usually make the images first.
And then the sound.
This was actually kind of hard, I think. I don't know about you, Evan, but like when the audio is such an important component, I'm typically, I kind of can often make the imaging much more complicated. And I felt personally, the more I made the image complicated, the less I was able to listen.
Mm.
And so in a way, the audio ended up determining the simplicity of, I end up making the image much more minimal on purpose
Cool.
because of that.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing is that we deal with creatures and, well, there's one person and two animals, three animals. We have cats.
That's
We have
right.
cats and
Creatures.
two. We have rats in
That's true.
Owen's film, and then the Godzilla is a kind of a hybrid of a creature. So it's very interesting. And then your film, Heidi, is kind of a documentary, and
Yeah.
it's also kind of a documentary. So it really kind of works out really, really wonderfully. And so I like the idea that you asked Evan a question. Do you guys have questions for each other? Because that's the time that we have now to talk about. See if you have any insights in each other's work.
Well, actually, one of the things you both were addressing, Evan and Heidi, is like I was wondering what came first. Obviously with you, Heidi, because here in Woodstock we get nonstop lost animals, so I can
Oh.
immediately relate. And I had to say, hey guys, how come they're anyway? It's nonstop, so right away it resonates a lot. It was so funny about the potted plant. I think there was a thing about it.
Oh yeah,
Did that happen?
yes. I did not make
was
anything up. I mean, I made up the images, but all the calls, I just edited either an excerpt or I just took out uhs and ums just to make the whole thing not go on forever. But yeah, that was real. That woman called me like 6 times, and actually,
the cat was the potted plant was the cat.
she kept
That's
saying that the
fantastic.
cat was in her yard for a week, and and I'd go there, and I'm like, I don't see any cat because he's orange cat, and it was summer, so the grass is all around her house is green. I'm like, you will see an orange cat on green grass. There was nothing, so I go in her house, and I mean, all of that's in the animation actually did happen,
Amazing.
and yeah, it was so disappointing because she was so convincing. Like I was like, he's going to be there. It's been a few weeks. Where is he? Oh, it's kind of close to my house. He could be there. And then when it wasn't, it was like a big bummer.
Yeah. And Owen's film is also kind of documentarian in some ways because of his experience on the subway in New York. And yes, Owen.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. I mean, I made this when I was living in Astoria, so I was always taking, the W line all the way down to Herald Square and go to Bill's studio every day. So I think I thought of the idea on the train or something like that. And as I went along animating, it sort of got crazier and crazier. So yeah, it's sort of, based off of a, New York experience, and it's always sort of fun to look out on the tracks when you're waiting for a train and see a little rat pop up. So, maybe you sort of wonder what they're doing on Christmas or something like that.
Yeah, kind of fantasy film. Very cool. Any other questions for each other?
I was just interested in Myra, you're sort of picking things for for Godzilla to do. Like I like the the teeth brushing and the nail clipping, and I could see that kind of you could keep going with other things. How did you decide which things to have him do?
Well, it is his day off, and an animator at first said, but he's the destroyer of worlds.
Right.
No, it's just his day off, So it was simply like one event to another in a very benign, jolly way. He's not the smartest ticket, but it's really simply his day off. So then it felt normal to do the quotidian things of the day, toenails and so forth.
Yeah.
So
the more banal, the funnier it was, I think.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah. For me.
Very cool. Well, I'd like to use the opportunity now to show our audience how they can purchase tickets. So I'm going to share a screen for a second, and let's see if we can do that now. You guys can all see this, yes?
Yep.
So normally you would go to njfilmfest.com, which is our homepage, njfilmfest.com. And this would open up, and normally everything would be here during pre-COVID. The festival lineup, you would click on a button and it would open up the festival lineup. Now it's still the same idea, but it bounces you to our Eventive website, which is where we stream films, but it's a hybrid festival, so you can buy a ticket, and the ticket is good for both the in-person screening as well as the virtual one when both are offered. So you absolutely must punch this tickets info button, which bounces you to our Eventive website. And there's 4 buttons, which I'd like to show you what they do. But the welcome page is also very helpful. If you're going to be coming to a screening, there's map directions to the space. You can register your car and park in a university parking lot adjacent to the space at no charge. There's basic information about the staff and our sponsors here too. But you really want to go to these red buttons, and the schedule button is a very generic kind of text-based linear format of the actual festival lineup. And the program that we've been talking about is taking place on Saturday, May 30th. It'll be online for 24 hours starting at 12 midnight Eastern USA time. And the in-person screening will be at 5 o'clock. And I think a number of you are going to be there. So there'll be a Q&A session afterwards. It's a mix of animation films as well as experimental films, I guess I would say. And it's a really wonderful lineup. And you can check out blurbs about each one of the films and scroll down to see all of the programs that we're offering. You can also click on these buttons too. The tickets button is our catalog page, and the catalog page is where you actually purchase tickets. So if you wanted to buy tickets for this show, you would have to go to Saturday, May 30th. And I don't know why it's in French. I mean, I do speak French, but I don't know why mine is in French, which is very kind of strange. But if you wanted to learn more, you would click learn more, en savoir plus. And each one of the films has a little box. And again, you can buy tickets pre-buy here, and you would push this button. You would have to register your name. If you registered before, you're already in the system, so you can just buy tickets right away. If you go back to the festival home site, there is a film guide page, which has a page for each one of the films. So 35 Days has a page. Let's see if we can find some of the other ones here real quick. Godzilla's Day Off has a page, yes, brushing his teeth. And then we keep working our way down. And here's Miracle under 34th Street. So you can get a taste of Owen's work too. And I think we have just about, I think I passed yours. Here it is, Prison in Time for Evan's Piece. So it gives you a little blurb, the credits and things like that. Once you've finished with the film guide, you can go back up top. You could also go to the menu, which has also ways to be able to move around and migrate through the festival site. If you want to come to see a lot of films, you want to buy the all access pass. It saves you a lot of money, and it's relatively inexpensive. It's $120 for everything. And then let's go back to the welcome page. And the screening and tickets are $15 for each program. And again, that is good for all of the screenings. You can watch it virtually and in person. In fact, we have a number of people that do that. They watch the films during the day, and they'll come to the screening in the evening or late afternoon to interact with the filmmakers during the Q&A, because just about every screening, in-person one, will have a filmmaker or more there to interact with the live audience. So it's a really wonderful opportunity to network if you're a filmmaker, or just to interact if you want to meet the filmmaker itself. We're a no-frills festival. We're very grassroots. There's no red carpet, no limousines, although that's not completely true. There were a few people that came in a limousine once. But we're really here to be showing great films. That's our mission. And this is the 31st year we've been doing this particular festival. And it's been a labor of love. We have really dedicated staff of student interns that run the actual screenings themselves. So that's basically all you need to know about our festival. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me for this last half hour. And I ask you to just stay on after we say goodbye to our audience so I can give you some more information. But folks, hope to see you at the movies. Remember, njfilmfest.com for more info. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.